everyone, welcome to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Maddie. I am 23 years old and I am a mother to 3 boys, and they are ages 3 and younger. So I've had my fair share of hospital stays after birth, and that is exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. There are a lot of videos out there on YouTube talking about how to take care of your baby and what happens to your baby after birth, but there are a lot of things that are not talked about concerning women and mothers after they give birth. So today I'm going to be sharing all the things that women experience in the first 48 hours after giving birth in the hospital that I think you should know that will help you and just help you feel prepared, and that's exactly what we're doing. This video is meant to be educational. It is not meant to scare you. The hospital stay is seriously my favorite part of all of this. It's just so euphoric. It's like an out-of-body experience. I don't know how to explain it, but the emotions that you feel, like meeting your baby, like everything else you don't even care about, like pain, whatever it is, like the fact that you have a baby and you get something out of this pain makes it well worth it. So this video is just to help you feel prepared for everything that you're about to experience. Before we get started, a quick little warning. This video is a little bit graphic. I mean, we're talking about birth and postpartum, so I mean that comes with the territory. But just in case you're not prepared, I'm warning you right now, so let's just get started. This is one thing that I wish I had heard somewhere, anywhere, a blog post, a person, a YouTube video that I did not know about, and that is right after you have your baby, in the first hour, your nurse is gonna come over and she's gonna press and rub on your stomach to push out all the blood and the blood clots in your uterus to help prevent you from hemorrhaging or having big blood clots. I was mortified because, I mean, you have your baby in there, right? It's hard, your stomach is huge, and then there's nothing in there, and everything feels like jello, and your center of gravity is like changing, and someone comes over and pushes on your sore stomach that was just contracting for like hours. It doesn't feel good. But this actually happens throughout the first couple days that you're in the hospital. More so the first day. They will come in around like every hour, maybe half hour. I'm not sure, but they do come in frequently to rub your stomach, but it only lasts about like 10-15 seconds. But that's to help you not hemorrhage, not have blood clots, because it can be really, really dangerous if you do. That's definitely something that I don't look forward to after birth. So along with that, you bleed a lot. Like for the first month after giving birth, which is absolutely insane. So when you're pregnant, your body produces about 30 to 50% more blood volume. So after you're done having your baby, your body has to get rid of it all. And the first like week, you bleed so much, and you will have blood clots, but I think they say anything bigger than a golf ball or something like that is like dangerous, and to let them know right away so they can help prevent that and stop that. And I don't know, I've never experienced that, so I don't know what happens, but I know that you shouldn't have any blood clots. So I know, at least in my experience, this is gross, but they have you like save your pads in this bag like next to the toilet. Like there is no garbage, I guess, in there, and I guess that's just to like monitor in the first couple hours like how your bleeding is going. They will check you down there when they're pushing on your stomach too, to see like if anything is coming out. So gross, so TMI, but that definitely brings me to my next thing. You have no shame. Absolutely no shame at all. And that's coming from me because I was a very reserved person, very, very reserved person before I got pregnant. But when you're in labor, like everyone's checking down there. There are nurses coming in, your doctor, like you don't care. I can hear Hudson playing upstairs. Sorry if you hear little baby screams. Anyway, there is no shame. You're gonna ask all sorts of questions. Your boobs are gonna be out. You're gonna be like, how do I breastfeed this baby? A lactation consultant will come in and they will actually like help you. Like they touch your boob, they grab your boob, they show you exactly how to feed your baby because it's all new. And that help is going to be something that you're gonna be really happy that you have. I feel like some women might know this, but maybe not all, but that is your doctor does not come into your room until like you are ready to push that baby out. You will have nurses, or at least one designated nurse unless she's like switching shifts and you'll get another nurse. But you have one nurse in there the entire time you labor, and she will take care of you until you go to the postpartum floor. So right after you have your baby, they'll lay him on your chest, and then the doctors and all the nurses in there will literally go to work to clean you up, to stitch you, to take your epidural catheter out if you have one. Also a catheter down there if you had an epidural as well, because you can't feel anything. And it happens so quickly. Like right after your baby's born to the part where they're gonna move you to the postpartum floor goes by in a blink of an eye. Like it happens so quickly. They do not mess around. But after you're all cleaned up, your nurse is going to walk you to the bathroom, and that is when you're gonna pee for the first time. Dun dun dun. You guys, I was so scared. So if you had an epidural like I did, I had to wait around 45 minutes for my legs to be able to move again to get out of the bed to walk to the bathroom. And let me tell you, that is the weirdest experience ever. Like your legs and just your entire body feels like jello, and that's because your center of gravity is changing. You just had a baby, so most of your weight is forward, and now all of a sudden you lost all the extra weight and everything just feels so wobbly. So I actually had to have a lot of help getting up and walking around because my body was really sore, and because my epidural, I'm kind of like learning how to walk again. But when I got to the bathroom, that is when my nurse showed me what a Peri Bottle is, and it's this little bottle that you fill up with water and you spray it down there when you pee because it burns badly. For me, I had some abrasions after my first baby was born, so it hurt horribly to pee, like so bad. And the best advice I can give you is to fill up your Peri Bottle with really, really warm water. Hudson. I filled mine up with cold water the first time, and because my pee is not cold, it's warm, I could feel it, and the sensation was just not, it did not feel good at all. So use warm water. They really want to make sure that you pee within the first hour after giving birth, because something about your bladder, like losing sensation or something weird like that. I don't know. I'm going to put it up on the screen because I honestly can't remember. But if you can't pee, I know that they will make you get a catheter, and that can be really painful. The catheters I got were not painful because I had an epidural in it at the time, so I couldn't even feel it. So it's really important to pee, and yeah, they help you with that though, so don't be scared. What is scary is having to poop for the first time. So after I had my babies, they always tell me, like, we want to make sure that you can poop before you leave the hospital. So throughout your stay, they're going to continually give you stool softeners, and oh my goodness, it's so scary trying to poop after having a baby. The muscles that you use to push a baby out are the exact same muscles you use to go poop, and giving birth feels like you're pooping out a giant basketball. Like, that is the sensation that you will feel. So when they're telling you, like, hey, you gotta push again, no. Everything is so sore. Like, your muscles are just so sore, and it's, oh my gosh, it's not a great experience. It's not, but you're gonna be happy that you did it, because afterwards it's really relieving. So something I thought was that after I have my baby, it's gonna be crying all the time, right? Like, you see it in the movies, you hear people talking about it, like their babies are colicky or they can't get them to sleep. But the first couple days, that's all your baby does, and you're gonna be exhausted, and you're gonna sleep a lot too. The only thing is your nurse or nurses are gonna come in quite often to check on you, to check on your bleeding, and to give you medicine, which is kind of annoying, honestly. This brings me to a funny story. So right after I had Hudson, I'm sleeping. I had been sleeping for probably like 3 hours straight, and a nurse came in my room, and my husband's on the next bed, and she's like asking me questions. And you guys, I was like literally like talking to her like this, like half dead almost. And she was asking me these questions, and I fell right back asleep. And I heard laughing, and I kind of opened my eyes, and they were both laughing at me because I had fallen asleep in the middle of her talking to me. Like, that's how exhausted I was. But get your sleep. Sleep as much as you can when you're in the hospital, because that is like the most your baby's gonna sleep. And if you're comfortable with it, the nurse can take your baby into the nursery and watch them for a couple hours while you sleep. I know some women are weird about it. I never did it because my babies just slept, but those nurses love those babies. Every time a nurse came into my room, they were all over my baby. They wanted to see him, they wanted to hold them. Another thing I didn't realize was how out of whack my hormones were gonna be right after I gave birth. You always talk about how hormonal you are during pregnancy, and then there's a chance of postpartum depression and anxiety like later on or right after birth, but I didn't realize like how much I would randomly just cry. I would cry and I'd look at Kevin and I would kind of like laugh in the middle of crying because it was like, I'm not sad, I don't know what's going on, I'm just like overwhelmed, I guess, by everything that is happening. But yeah, I would just cry sometimes. I would look at my baby and I would cry, or I would just be sitting there and cry because I'm just like flooded with so much emotion. Don't you bring cute underwear. Don't do it because you're gonna regret it. After you give birth, they literally give you like adult diapers, like probably the biggest pad you have ever seen in your entire life. So it's like this thick pad, and then they're gonna put like an ice pad on top of it. Those are amazing. It feels so good. It just like helps the swelling and like the achiness down there, and it's amazing. Like, it's bomb. So don't bring your underwear because you're probably not going to be able to wear them because these pads are so big. The hospital will give you these mesh underwear, and I personally love them, but one thing I got instead were like the women pad underwear things. They're like disposable underwear pads. Those were really, really nice to wear. I will link them in the description box if you guys want to check those out. Loved those. One thing I experienced that I was not aware of was heat flashes. I got heat flashes all the time in the hospital. Like, I was 90 years old. It was so weird. Like, one minute I would be freezing, and then the next minute I would like break out in a sweat and feel so hot. It was the weirdest thing, but that's just because your hormones are like getting back into the groove that they should be in. Another thing I didn't expect to happen was having contractions after birth. These are called afterbirth contractions. How lovely. Just when you thought it was over. So this is gonna happen after every time you breastfeed, and breastfeeding triggers your uterus to contract back down to size. It gets worse after every single baby. I can tell you that for sure. It didn't hurt so much with Landon, but it was excruciating after my third. Hudson, so bad I would have to like unlatch and put him down. But anyway, yeah, you will have afterbirth contractions for about the first like 5 days. It's the worst like the day you give birth, and then after every day like your uterus is still contracting and it doesn't hurt as much. But there are actually supplements that you can take, like you put them in your water and it helps ease that pain. I will also put that in the description box below if you guys are interested. This one I found out the hard way. You're not gonna have any bladder control, like at all. First couple days is to be expected, right? You just gave birth to a baby, your muscles are loose, nothing's really tight anymore. Well, that's probably going to continue to happen after a couple months. Enter story time. So after I had my first baby, it was the first time he was away from me. My parents offered to watch him overnight. It was my husband's birthday. We had friends over, and there was a trampoline in our backyard. So me and my friends were like, let's go on the trampoline, right? Wrong. That lasted all of like 10 seconds before I started to pee myself because I had no bladder control. As soon as I jumped in the air and went back down, I literally started to pee myself a little bit because I couldn't control my bladder. I mentioned this in my postpartum video, but I cried because I thought my bladder was gonna be shot forever. Don't worry, it's not. All you have to do is Kegels, or yeah, no, it's definitely Kegels, I think. Actually, I don't know. But they're like exercises that you can do down there, just like sitting, and it can like help strengthen everything down there, help tighten up all your muscles and your bladder muscles. So make sure you do those. Another thing I wish someone told me was don't overthink breastfeeding. Don't overthink it. People make apps, they tell you to write down which side you just nursed off of, pump, make sure you pump in between. Like, don't overthink it. I wanna make a whole video on this because I have gone through it with breastfeeding. My breastfeeding journey is one that I wanna share because I feel like all the information out there can be super overwhelming. Like, that was the one thing I was really overwhelmed about, was breastfeeding. The last thing I didn't realize was that the labor and delivery and postpartum floor are all different. So you give birth in one room, and then about an hour after you are recovering, they'll come in and they will move you to a brand new room, and that's the postpartum room, and you'll be on the floor with all the postpartum moms, and that is when the nurses will come in and they'll help you throughout the day and the night. And it's actually really nice. They have like like beds for the dads, and I love the postpartum floor. I really hope you guys took some things away from this video. If you're an expecting mom, or if you know somebody who's an expecting mom, please share this with them, because knowledge is power. It'll help you feel very prepared and not scared, because I'm a worrier. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to the unknown, so I hope this video helped you guys. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you have any questions or comments on the video. I would love to respond and interact with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love if you gave it a thumbs up, and comment down below if you have any questions or just comments in general on the video. I'd love to interact with you guys, and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.